This Amazon build makes the campaign a breeze and clears high tier endgame content with ease. It balances high DPS with robust defenses and is therefore very much viable for hardcore. It doesn't rely on meta gear either and is suited for SSF and is easy to achieve for any type of player. The gameplay in this video is with tier 50 maps only. In the footage I'm only around level 80 without having min-maxed anything, such as skill gem levels, gem quality and gear, so there's plenty of room to make this build even more powerful. For clearing, our main offensive skill is Lightning Spear. Now this skill in isolation feels kind of useless, but there are several ways to buff the power of this skill. First of all, Lightning Spear works well in combination with Herald of Thunder due to its high shock chance, making Herald of Thunder hitting nearby enemies whenever we defeat the shocked enemy. This gives us much more AoE than Lightning Spear alone. Secondly, we frequently buff ourselves with Barrage, making our next Lightning Spear attack repeat multiple times. If we also have Frenzy Charges available, it will consume those to add additional repeats per charge. And we do have Frenzy Charges available. You see, we also frequently mark enemies with Sniper's Mark, making the next critical hit the target receives deal extra damage and granting us a Frenzy Charge. This will make Barrage often repeat additional times for us, giving us much more damage and AoE. This also has great synergy with our 4th Ascendancy point spent in the Elemental Infusion node of our Amazon Ascendancy. This infuses our weapon with 2 Lightning Infusion every time we consume a Frenzy Charge, which we do regularly. Now, these infused projectiles trigger a blast when they reach the end of their flight, giving us much more damage and AoE. Further, the clearing with Lightning Spear is boosted by the Volt support gem. This gives us 3 voltaic charge per meter traveled up to a maximum of 30. When we then use Lightning Spear after building up voltaic charges, Lightning Spear will chain 1 time and gain 5% of damage as extra lightning damage per 10 voltaic charge consumed. And since we often use only 1 or 2 Lightning Spears per group of mobs in between running, we have this buff on most of our uses. All of these buffs combined give Lightning Spear so much more AoE and damage, which takes it from an average skill to a great one. As briefly mentioned, our Ascendancy is Amazon, which also provides this build with some juicy damage nodes. The first 2 points we spend in the Critical Strike notable node. Now this gives us 25% of our access accuracy above 100% as critical hit chance. This is a huge incentive for us to stack accuracy rating, as this will boost our critical strike chance to a great extent. This is the foundation for us to make this into a crit build, as well as focusing on having a decent base critical strike chance on our weapon, ideally at 7% or above. Remember that critical hits are essential for Sniper's Mark to give us a Frenzy Charge as well, so having a decent critical hit chance is important. As for bossing, Sniper's Mark won't help us, as there are usually no or very few mobs to defeat during a boss fight for Sniper's Mark to give us a Frenzy Charge. Also, Lightning Spear does not have the best single target damage either. This is why we for bosses and difficult rare enemies use Storm Lance and Explosive Spear in combination. The overabundant support on Explosive Spear lets us use Barrage and then Explosive Spear to throw 2 of them. Before Explosive Spear detonates, we spam Storm Lance on the same area to ensure that we have our maximum Storm Lances being detonated by the Explosive Spears. This will give a huge damage output to the boss. We'll rinse and repeat this process throughout the fight. For the softcore version of this build, we don't use a buckler or any other offhand type, since we take the cornerstone passive node Dance with Death. This node grants us 25% increased attack speed when we use a spear without an offhand. For hardcore, you might want to leave this one out and rather have a buckler for more defenses. Now, our spear is good, but it's not the best in slot. There's plenty of room to hunt down a better spear than this, boosting the damage output of this build even further. There's also room to upgrade your skill gems to higher levels and cut them to get quality increases. In this gameplay, I run mostly with level 18 skill gems without quality added on any of them. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button to support me making future videos like this. I would highly appreciate your support. As for defenses, there are some important things that are worth mentioning. For our helmet, we want as much energy shield as possible. This is because we take the Subterfuge Mask passive node, giving us 2 evasion per energy shield on the helmet. For our body armor though, we want as much pure evasion as possible, since the Spectral Ward passive node gives us 1 energy shield per 12 evasion rating on the body armor, as well as the Bestial Skin node doubling the evasion rating from our body armor. We want the overall combination between evasion and energy shield so that we evade the majority of our hits, as well as using Ghost Dance to maintain our energy shield pool whenever we do get hit. Ghost Dance gives us Ghost Shrouds, granting us 5% of our evasion rating as energy shield every time we're hit. This makes us more tanky and is why it's important to have a decent energy shield pool. Wind Dancer is used to give us increased evasion rating, and when we do get hit, it knocks back enemies and deals a substantial amount of damage. Our resistances are mostly decent, but obviously our chaos resistance could be higher. You could also cap most of them if you went for a buckler in your offhand instead of trading it away from the Dance with Death passive node. There's also room for boosting all defensive layers on our gear, gear, especially with higher tier runes and also getting higher tier rolls of defensive stats on the gear to boost the overall defense. Lightning Spear, Herald of Thunder and after a while Barrage are all unlocked very early in the game, so you could go for this build setup from the get-go. However, if you feel that Lightning Spear is hard to scale damage for early on, you could rather use Stormlance with Explosive Spear for detonation as your leveling build. I actually used this combo myself throughout the entire campaign, but switched to the Lightning Spear setup when I got to the endgame. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and you'll probably want to see my other PoE 2 build guide showing on the screen right now, so go ahead and click on that.